What is happening, guitar playing people today? We've got a great lesson for you, super efficient, just 5 minutes to help yourself map out the neck. Now, obviously, there are a gazillion and one ways to help yourself, improve your understanding of the neck. This is one really efficient way to start chipping at that skill and improving your capacity and your understanding. So just keep that in mind, especially those of you who are a little bit newer. It's just gonna take some time. So we're gonna take more of a scale approach, where that's gonna be the base of support. It's gonna be a little bit more fun than traditional scales for sure. But arpeggios, triads, yada yada yada. Although there are triads in here, but the Mac and the bass is gonna be supported by a traditional scale. But so just keep that in mind. And for those of you who are a little further along in your journey, this is just something else you can add to your arsenal to keep, strengthening the skill. We always want to continue to open ourselves up to more and more concepts and contexts. So there's that. This is a 5-minute exercise. If you are beyond short on time, you can reduce this to maybe 3 minutes at minimum. But if you do have a shorter session planned, you're short on time, you want to improve your skills in a valuable way, a meaningful way, I think 5 minutes is short enough where you can still do this on the front end of your session and then move into all of the other, songs and solos that you want to learn and that you have planned for yourself inside of your session. Okay? So with that, let's jump right in and let's go over this thing so that you can take it and move on and use it in your own playing and in your life. All right, so we're going to start things off with a triad. And really, really quick, if you don't have a great understanding of triads, like and subscribe to this channel because it's a big part of how I like to teach things and map things out. I think they are so, so important for, guitar mastery. And so with that, I'll just keep things really brief and simple and just say that triads are the most simple expressions of major, minor, and diminished chords. All right. Just 3 notes. So each one of those chord shapes, the most simple and traditional major, minor, diminished chords. We're not talking about sevenths and sixes and whatever, just the most basic, expressions of major, minor, diminished. It's just 3 notes, okay, and augmented. It's just 3 notes. Okay, so when you play a big, open G, you've got the G in 3 different places. All right, and so you're stacking and layering to make this bigger chord, but there's only 3 notes inside of this chord. All right, G, B, and D. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We're gonna play a G triad here. All right, we're gonna play a G triad here, and it's the same inversion, so the same stacking of notes. All right, and that's a massive part of mapping out the neck is recognizing where things repeat. All right, so recognize that these are all the exact same chord, just in different places. So that's where we're going to start things. All right, then we're going to add in a lick, and we're going to do that, after each triad. So we're going to go. That's going to be the lick, and we're going to play it up here as well. And then we're going to come down and play it here, but recognize that's just an octave. So it's, the same shape, same thing you would do up here. We're just going to play it down here in an open position. So it's the same thing across the neck. Now, what I think will be most important for you, especially if you're a little newer, but I do think intermediates can get a lot of benefit from this, is as you're going through this, look at a map of the neck. Using a pentatonic scale shape. And I like the G major pentatonic shape. So this is all based on a G major pentatonic or E minor relative major minor scales. All right. And it gives us, in my opinion, the best map, the cleanest map, because you got all of these open strings involved. And when you go up, to an octave, you've got, the 12th fret, every single note on the 12th fret involved. And I just find that to be a really clean expression of all of the pentatonic scale shapes. So you've got 5 shapes. In the description, there's a downloadable PDF. So you don't have to come back to this video every single time you want to play around with this. You've got each one of these shapes, right, mapped out as, individual shapes, and then you got them combined on the neck. And I think that's such a powerful way to kind of learn things and, you know, map out different shapes and recognize how things repeat on the neck. Okay. And I think it's important that you look at that as you're playing through the actual exercise, so you have an understanding of the different shapes we're hitting when we go through it, right? Well, there's a scale shape down here. There's a scale shape here. And then there's a scale shape here. Excuse the guitar faces always that we're, you know, running through as we're playing, you know, that lick, that phrase, okay? And then same thing when we come up here. We're going through one of those shapes is the same. But then we're adding this, you know, additional shape. And we've got this shape up here, which is just a repetition of the open position, which is basically the most, you know, simple version of the pentatonic scale. It's like the one that everyone learns first. Okay, but there's the 5 shapes. So we're basically already navigating all of them just in those 2 positions. But then, of course, we have this position here. Okay, so those are the 3 positions. What you can do, right? So set a 5-minute timer. All right, everybody, set a 5-minute timer. What you can do, again, if you just need to loosen up, just get familiar with one position at a time. So maybe you, on that timer, you say, okay, I'm going to do, you know, 5 reps at a time at each place. Listen to it. Was that my cleanest? I don't know. Let's redo it. Was that my cleanest? I'm not sure. Let's try to clean things up. Let me go for the perfect, you know, touch and feel, not over squeezing, not over, you know, squeezing the pick, not over squeezing the neck. All right, did things sound smooth? I know that was only 4 repetitions. And then you move up here and you can do that individually. And go for a few reps here. Go for a few reps down here. All right. Once you have that, then go from position to position, right? So just 1 rep here. Transition right into that next shape. And of course you can wait 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And then you can speed things up and try to connect them in a more fluid manner. Et cetera, on and on and on. Now, I always remind everyone that when I'm recording these, I've got, like, you know, my computer's hooked up to my amp so that can be heard a little bit more clearly. I'm talking to my phone. Those are both of the pieces of equipment I use as a metronome, so I'm not playing with the metronome. Play with a metronome. Play with something that feels too good, feels a little too easy, so that you can get really, really dialed in with, you know, your technique, the feel, the touch, et cetera, et cetera. And then, and only then, when things are, you know, ringing out really clearly, that's when you can speed things up. But again, this is all about mapping out the neck. So if you're speeding things up too much and you're not pausing and taking some time to recognize how these shapes connect and how these different, you know, this triad plus lick, you know, connects to one another, you'll be missing out on the key aspect of this exercise. So you basically want to have an understanding that you know, how that shape, you know, how they connect, how they sound similar, what positioning you like more. Sometimes you might recognize, and I think this happens for a lot of people, listen to your favorite people, they have go-to positions and shapes that they like coming back to. So just, again, you're wanting to understand the neck, but dial in your own personal preference for self-expression. This is creative expression. There's no one right or one wrong way to, you know, to do these things, even though, of course, people scream at me all the time in the comments, no, you got to do it this way. You know, this is one way to map out the neck. It might not be your perfect way to do it. Great, it gives you a nice base of support. Like and subscribe so you can come back. We'll go over lots of different ways to map out the neck. But let's keep things there. Again, if you need to look at things more, you know, closely, I don't want to waste all of your time here. You've heard the drill, you've heard the exercise. download the PDF, play through it at your own speed. All right. Go, come back, make sure you have an understanding how things should sound, and then, do it on your own, play around with it on your own, look at the scale shapes, play through the positions, make sure you have a good understanding. And let's just leave it there, okay? And then keep coming back so you can get more and more variety, more and more context, concepts to, boost your understanding, all right? Again, very helpful for me if you like and subscribe to the channel. I think there's lots of good stuff on here too, so I do think it's going to be valuable for you as well. And I'll see you on the next one. Keep rocking out. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Peace.